Hi everyone, it's Nick Bradley here. And today I want to get into what I call the growth foundations or the growth principles that are businesses that are basically driving a lot of value. So they're growing quickly, they're generating profit, and entrepreneurs, business leaders who are on that ride are usually having a lot of fun. So the first principle that these businesses have, these attributes that they have, is they have a very clear direction, a very clear destination of where they're trying to get to. This is often called a vision, vision and a mission. And it's this idea that you know exactly what you're trying to achieve, you know your why and your purpose behind that. And everyone else knows that as well. So you're constantly talking about this vision, you're telling your customers, you're telling your suppliers, you're telling your employees, and everyone is behind and galvanized behind this. And quite often the businesses that are really flying, they have a leader at the top, usually the founder or the CEO, who's super passionate about this vision. So that's the first thing. Aligned with that, you've got to have a plan. Sometimes it's called a strategy. Now, strategy is simply a set of choices that you make to achieve your vision. But you've got to have a compelling, robust plan that, again, is simple enough that everyone gets it in the organization, but powerful enough that it's going to move you towards that vision. It sounds simple to have those two things in place, and there are a lot of businesses that think they have them, but quite often they have a set of ideas, but there's not enough grounding in those ideas to make it a reality. So it's important to have both of those two pieces in place. The next area is you have to have really, really strong financial management. You've got to have a cash runway, and you've got to have a way of measuring performance across all the various components of your business. So be that operational, commercial, cultural, it's usually by having a set of dashboards and be able to monitor the performance of your business literally in real time. It also allows you, the founder, the entrepreneur, to not have to be in the business full time because you can manage it from afar. The next area, and this is kind of getting more now into the kind of commercial side, is you've got to have what I call a unique solution stack that solves a really quantifiable and identifiable problem that your ideal customer has. So through the strategy work, you've defined your markets, you've defined your customers. You now need to be able to solve their problem with some form of solution, be that a product or a service. And what often happens is when you start a business, you might be able to solve a problem very clearly because you've spent a lot of time thinking about that. But markets change so rapidly these days that unless you're constantly thinking about what your customers are facing, what their needs are, what their challenges are, and also their opportunities, sometimes the product that you created early on becomes obsolete or just not relevant very quickly. So once you've got that, you need to then create what I call a predictable flow of the right customers coming into your business, generating recurring revenue. And there's two key words in this. The first one is predictable. So you predict how customers come in. So that's leads and how you bring leads and opportunities and prospects into your business. And then this idea of recurring revenue is something that's, again, it comes back to being predictable and to some extent sustainable, that you know exactly how revenue is building. So that can sometimes be by selling product solutions that are subscriptions. It can be having long-term contracts, but many business valuations are underpinned by this idea of having recurring revenue. So it must be something that you strive for, and certainly really valuable companies that I work with have this in place. Once you've got that all lined up, you need to have an operating system that allows you to deliver that solution for your ideal customers. So everything in this phase needs to be clear, and needs to be clear processes, clear alignment between various functions in an organization. I say you should try and automate everything you possibly can, because that usually drives the highest levels of efficiency, and high levels of efficiency drive profit. But you've got to have a machine. And I often say that if you have a business that runs like clockwork, if it runs like a machine, you have a really powerful, valuable business, and you have ways of seeing all the things that are either working or not working, so that you can focus on making constant improvement. It's called Kaizen, this kind of continuous, never-ending improvement. And if you can kind of make sure that the operation runs like that, it literally runs like a machine, then again, that's extremely valuable. You'll be generating a lot of money, a lot of profit. And if you want to sell your business one day, it'll be a very, very compelling opportunity for someone. And then the last one is what I call values, behaviors, and standards. So if the operating model is what you do, the how you do it is these values, these standards, and these behaviors, often called culture. And I see this as the glue that keeps everything together, because you may have a great strategy, you may have a great product, you may have a really clear way of delivering that product through your operating model. But if you haven't got people who are lined up with, the right behaviors, the right values, they show up, they take risks, they produce for you above and beyond what is expected, then all of a sudden, all the things that are happening in your business can be just a little bit flat, a little bit blank. And then what tends to happen is that can become a bit of a disease in its own right. And all the stuff that you have done to really build your business and get it to this level can be compromised simply because you haven't really thought enough about the culture with intention. So they're the key things. There's 6 or 7 different principles there of what I call kind of like the growth foundation principles, but these are the characteristics of companies that are highly valuable, are fast growing, and certainly something that you should be trying to strive to as you grow and scale your business.